listening to the Non-Del Influencers podcast, brought to you by First Funding. Join host Matt Coles as he delivers powerful conversations to help non-delegated lenders succeed and scale in today's market.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to the latest episode of Non-Delegated Influencers podcast. Appreciate you joining us here. I'm Matt Coles, National Sales Manager with First Funding. I am pleased today to have Irene Duford, with founder and CEO of Loan Team Training. Hello, Irene.
Hi, Matt. How you doing today?
I am excellent. Thank you for taking the time out of your day. I know you're super busy, so I appreciate it. I am going to hit you with a hard hitting question first, because I looked up your profile. Are you one of 14 children?
I am.
Tell me a little bit about that. That is probably that's the most I've ever seen. So tell me a little bit about what that was like growing up.
It was awesome. I was the baby. So I got to see all of the good and the bad and the problems and the mistakes and the great things happening. So I think that was my best schooling experience, was just being raised with 13 brothers and sisters that all did great things and made some mistakes. And I learned from them.
What's the age difference between the youngest and the oldest?
So my mom had her first child at 18 and had me at 46.
Wow. I love this. You got it. I want to sit down with you at our next conference and hear about it. And I have a former colleague that I think he had 12 brothers and sisters, and I think his wife had like 12 brothers and sisters. So it kind of keeps in mind. And I always ask them, like, well, how do you keep track of your nieces and your nephews and the weddings and the birthdays? And so how many nieces and nephews do you count?
I had to write them down the other day. I think it's like 38 or something like that. 42. Yeah.
That is amazing. What a blessed family. That's awesome.
It is. It's just been amazing. Yeah, it's been fantastic. I only have one brother and two sisters left, because that's how much younger I am than everyone. But what's funny about it is the two older ones are the ones that are still around, and they took care of themselves and exercised, and they're doing really well.
What an amazing family story. I'm sure you guys have stories that you can spin a yarn about it for a long, long time.
Yeah, I could probably write a book, but I probably won't.
Well, we did write a book, Irene. You and I did. We did participate in the book, right?
Yes.
The leadership book last year, and
yes,
it was very successful. I signed all my copies. I gave them to all my family for Christmas gifts. That's what they got from me. So,
yeah, leadership matters. It was a fun book to write. We each wrote a chapter, and it was really fun.
Yeah, no, it was a good experience, and reading other people's chapters, you certainly get takeaways. I always share with people, like, when I first became a leader, right? When I was first asked to step into management, I was so bad at it. I was god awful. Like I was a top performer in sales. And when they moved me over to the management side, I just expected people to do everything as I did. Right. Mm-hmm. And it's just a terrible, terrible way to lead. And it took me 3 or 4 years to figure out, people have different styles. I need to adapt. They don't need to adapt.
Uh-huh.
What's the biggest lesson you've learned from leadership?
Is just show your people you care. Number one, that they matter, that they're not just a number. And I think as a leader, you need to find out what motivates them. There is an assessment. There's an assessment that I love to do. And as I was coaching loan officers, I had them do the assessment for their team members to find out what is their language of appreciation. You know how there's the love language book? Have you heard of that book? The 5 love languages by Gary Chapman?
I have. I think it's been brought up in my therapy sessions before.
It's a great book.
Yeah.
So he has an assessment for relationships. He did another book called The Languages of Appreciation in the Workplace. Yeah. And that one also has languages. So if you know what language people speak, what is important to them, and you as a leader can speak to that language, speak in a language that they understand. Like, for instance, if words of affirmation is their number one language, then it's important that you let them know they're doing a good job, that you say good things to other people about them in front of them, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Or if it's time, maybe you spend a little bit more time. If you work in the same office, you go by and you say hi once in a while, you sit and chat with them a little bit. or if they need help with something, you might give them that kind of time.
Yeah. Yeah. Everyone's got, a unique personality, and, it's been a little bit more of a challenge from the work from home environment. When I used to go into the office and I would read the emotions, I guess, of the people that were working with me on my team, it was a little bit easier for me to go, hey, man, come on in here, or let's sit down, let's go grab a bite to eat, let's take you away from the chaos for a second, or you got to win, the instantaneous high five, and let's go out and celebrate type of thing. So the work from home environment has impacted it a little bit, but good leaders listen for those key moments or those milestones, or understand when someone's reaching out how to decipher what they're trying to say, right? People aren't going to, I don't know if you agree with me about this, but people aren't going to come out and say, hey, I'm struggling, right?
No,
you're going to have to read, you have to read between the lines of like, it feels like you're coming to me because you're having a challenge. Let's figure out how we can break this down for you.
Yes. And I recommend Zoom meetings like this, where you can see each other, or Zoom or StreamYard, whatever you want to use, but a video call so that you can see each other, because you can read things about people when you can see them that you can't get on the phone.
Well, that's a big issue for a lot of companies right now, is the amount of people who are not on camera. They're on Zoom, but they're not on camera. That's a big deal. And I quite honestly, like, it's not an acceptable business practice for my meetings that I host. You cannot be off camera while I'm hosting a meeting, right? Because it's kind of, I don't know, disrespectful is not the right word, but it just means that you're not focused on what I'm trying to say. And I can't read the room if there's some questions about what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, you're right. The other thing about leadership is just hiring the right people.
Right.
Making sure you're hiring people that are a good fit for your particular energy, your particular type of way to deal with people. They need to have the experience that you're looking for. And some people just hire anybody, and then they wonder why the culture is not what it should be. But as a leader, we need to know that.
I think that's a really great segue into a little bit of a deeper conversation. When I first became a manager, I had like a quota that I had to hit to hire people, right? And so I was just measuring to hit a number. And so many misfires at the beginning, right? Because I just wanted to hire. I didn't want to hire the right person. I wanted to hire. And I think what happens in our world over here is we have people that want to grow, right? They come they want to join the non-delegated space because they're thinking about growing. They're growing their team, whatever it might be. And oftentimes it's very much an originator who's kind of been on their own for a while and has never really had to hire anybody. So I know that's kind of your specialty, but just tell me a little bit about what that growth looks like for you, and how do you, coaching is not the right word to it. What do you do to help them realize, okay, this is the person that you should be looking at?
Yes. So I go through several deep questions with them. Loan officers, most of the loan officers that I have met don't enjoy hiring. It's just something they have to do. So they do it really quick. They don't really put a lot of thought into it. They think, okay, this person looks really good. Their resume looks good. I talk to them. They seem nice. And they don't test them. They don't do a mortgage test to see if they have skills and knowledge. They don't ask the right questions. They don't talk about the first thing that they forget to do, not all of them, but some. The first thing they forget to do is to create a job description and map out exactly what they want that role to be. And so that's the first thing that gets missed. And if you don't have that detail, you don't really know what you're hiring them to do, and neither do they. They don't know.
That kind of goes hand in hand with something that I've been working with Ginger on previously, which was a business planning, right? It's putting pen to paper about what you want it to look like. That's a really, really great suggestion, is the job description. I don't know if this is part of your process. I also am a very big believer in really detailing out the first 2 weeks of onboarding, because knowing what to do with your hands and logging in and figuring out the passwords and the email address and the business cards and the contacts, it's overwhelming. And if you don't have it mapped out and as a repeatable experience, it tends to get away from you.
It really does. I love that you brought that up because that's really important. Onboarding, step-by-step onboarding, mapped out, written out, and then you just revise it as you need to. If you forgot something or something needs to be added or there's a new process, it gets added on there, and they have it completely in most loan partners or staff members, whether not LOs, but most loan partners or staff members, support staff members, they like things mapped out. They want to follow a process. And I understand that you're really good with processes and systems. So you're speaking my language now.
Well, I've evolved, right? A lot of it has just been because I want to make sure, I mean, to be completely selfish, I want to be able to turn things over to someone else to do, and I want them to do it right. And it kind of leads to the next question, which is this idea of control freaks, right? And I hear this quite a bit when I'm talking to MLOs. I don't want to hand over my file. I don't want to hand over. And how do you break through that? And how do you build for that?
Yes. The first thing that they need to do is be aware that they're a control freak. Most of them are. They'll be aware of they're a control freak. And for them, they need to have the right person to let go to. If they don't have the right person on their team that knows how they want things, that does things their way, not in a controlling way, but just has a process mapped out of the way they want clients to be handled, referral partners to be handled. If they don't feel comfortable with that, they will never let go. They will stay controlling the process no matter what. But if they have someone that has proven to them that they're doing a great job, that they can count on them, someone that says to them, don't worry, Joe, I've got it. You can count on me. I'm going to take care of this. And then they go do that. Then the person learns how to let go, even if they are a control freak. But it doesn't happen unless they have the right person in place.
My first hire at First Funding was someone whose first job it was right out of college. Literally met her at a coffee shop, and she had her resume ready for me when I saw that she was reading a real estate book, and she's been a lifesaver, and she's been incredible. And one of the things that I really appreciate about her is the opportunity for feedback that she gives to me about like, hey, I know this is how it's written out, but this actually works better in the process flow, right?
I love that.
Being open to critical feedback about like, oh yeah, maybe the way that I had penciled it out isn't the exact way it always needs to be done. New technology, new opportunities always comes up. There might be better ways to do it. And she's really great about bringing that feedback to my table.
And that's my point exactly. When they're looking for a loan partner, they want to make sure that those things you just mentioned that are important to you are written out so that they can ask questions about how they handle those situations. Because if you want someone that is really good at giving you ideas, or they're open to giving you feedback, they're comfortable with that. If that's important to you, then that's one of the questions that you need to talk about in your interview.
So, Irene, tell me a little bit about loan team training, and why do people come to you, and what is the end result that they're typically looking for?
Okay. So we have 3 training courses that we have. The WOW training is for loan partners, loan assistants, admins, anybody that's a support staff that communicates with clients. And we don't teach them the mortgage business in that class. What we're doing is we have a live training course, and it's Zoom. It's on Zoom. They have to have their camera on, and it's very interactive. And we're teaching them we start out with a great mindset, how to be a team player, how to communicate with clients, how to use processes and systems that work the same way every time, using checklists, how to ask for documentation the right way so you get it as quick as possible, how to follow up, all of those things that deliver an amazing experience to the client is what we teach in that WOW training. And each of the loan partners that attend, they're all interacting with each other and with the trainers. We do role plays. We give them scripting. Like, we teach them how to make outbound calls. They may not make them, but we're going to teach them anyway, how to make outbound calls to past clients, to clients in process, to people who are approved and looking, and then asking also for referrals in a way that doesn't feel like they're selling, because they don't want to be loan officers selling, so to speak. So we have a whole different way of explaining that to them so that they know that they're helping people when they do this, because they're going to get a great experience if they go to their team.
So that's a great, and it just reminds me, one of the biggest fears that I have is, it's not really a fear. I mean, if I look back to where we were in 2020 and 2021, where loans were just literally falling from the skies, right? I mean, we were so busy, and it's good. It was a blessing to be busy, but also I look back at it and it was really not a great time for a lot of people in the mortgage business who were away from their families for 16, 17, 18 hours a day and burnt out and just really just at wit's end, essentially, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I keep thinking back to, what could I have done better to make it scalable at that point in time, right? And now we've had a couple of years of maybe not as busy. You know, we're still having some pretty amazing years, but it's not as busy. What are the systems in place to make it scalable if rates drop 1% tomorrow, that you don't have to feel like you have to burn out in 90 days? And it sounds like you're providing that solution to a lot of people, but how do they find those people to bring on to do that? Like, what's the resources where they go to find those people?
Yeah, to find them and hire them. Yes.
Yeah.
So there's a company called Wise Hire. And what that company does is they put out all the ads. You give them the ad, they put out the ads, they send it out to everyone. They get resumes in, and they give them a disc profile. They make the applicants take a disc profile, and it's all put in a portal so that the loan officer can look really quickly through the resumes. They also suggest from the disc profile who would be a good candidate. It's not always 100%, but it's pretty accurate. And so they use that. And then I just started doing a hiring service that we call Wow Hiring Assist, where I'm doing it with them. So they use the Wise Hire, get all of the applicants in, but the first thing that they need to do is map out what they're looking for, like I said. So I would get on a call with the loan officer, map out exactly what they're looking for, and have a written job description. And also not just a written job description, but what qualities, what skills, what important things do they need to have to be on your team? It's very tailored. And these are questions that most loan officers don't ask because they're too busy. They just want to get a body in there.
So you're helping. If I'm looking to hire my first ever loan officer assistant, I would start with you to say, hey, let's go through the process of building out the job description. You build a job description, then you're going to partner with that application piece of it, and then you're going to help them identify the best fits. Does that sound like the cycle?
Yes. We help them identify the best fits. And then I actually will interview so they interview their candidates, the ones that they like the most, like say the top 3 or 4 candidates, and they interview and they say, Irene, these are the ones that I think would be good to interview. You know, they're my top candidates. So they give them to me, and I actually interview each one of them with the loan officer in mind that they want to be paired up with.
Yeah.
So that I know exactly what that loan officer wants, because I've already had a detailed conversation about what they're looking for.
Do you have, if I say, Irene, share with everyone here, like a testimonial that where you saw someone a loan officer just blossom once they brought in the right loan officer assistant. Do you have someone that comes to mind immediately?
Yeah, several.
Yeah.
Several. The one that I did this hiring with, Joe, he is so happy with his hire. He said, I don't know how I could have done it without you. He said, I just never wanted to hire people. It wasn't my thing. And I always kept hiring the wrong people, and it cost me money.
Yeah.
And so he is so happy with it. I definitely have a testimonial from him.
Yeah.
I asked him questions, how did it work? Why was it helpful to have someone guiding you? He said, it gave me somebody to talk to, like you, with all the experience that you have in hiring and helping as I coached people for the last 13 years, I helped them hire during that time. And so he is so happy with his hire. He said, because he had 3 that were really good. And then a 4th one came along, and the one he hired came about because of our back and forth conversations, because he had 3. He said, what do I do? I have 3. They're all good. They all passed the test. They did a mortgage test. They were all good.
Yeah.
But one of them didn't get back with him right away when he needed something. That was a red flag.
Right.
Another one didn't show up when they were supposed to show up on time. That was a red flag. So little things like that came up, and he ended up hiring the right one, and he spoke to his processor about it as well. So
nice.
He's as happy as could be with it. This was in May.
Oh, that's great. So much like myself, I know you go on this, on the circuit, we'll call it, with regards to conferences. I've been joking with a lot of people. I'm so happy that we've moved beyond the 17 panels at a conference about non-QM lending. It's just been replaced with 17 panels about AI. So talk to me a little bit about how AI is influencing what you're doing and how you're implementing it into your business model.
Yes, AI has been absolutely amazing. At first, I was a little resistant at the luckily I'm good friends with Ginger Bell. And so she helped me get over that resistance.
Yeah.
But at first I was a little resistant because I thought if I, start putting everything into AI and then the whole world knows everything about you, but you know what? They know about you anyway. And it is so helpful to put what I do a lot is because when I first started doing messaging and marketing, and even now I can be very wordy. So I would put everything I wanted to say into AI and then ask it to condense it and make it concise. And it would condense it in seconds and make it concise. I still use it for that reason. But I also put everything in there. Ginger is the one that told me, put all your stuff in there, put your workbook, put your classes, put your podcasts, everything in there so it gets to know you. And
going back to what you were talking about, right? Which was your key to starting this whole journey, right?
Yes.
An LO is not going to sit down there and hand write what a job description is, but if they can just speak into the microphone or their phone, into whatever AI service they're using, bullet point it out, say, hey, build something for a job description for this. Oh, by the way, add this, this, and this. I mean, it really is offloading a lot of the pressure that you have to do.
It is. You can ask AI to create a system for you, to create a checklist for you, to create all of these things that you just tell it what you want. And after a while, I named mine Sunshine. She's Sunshine for me. And I'll start out by saying, hi, Sunshine, and she answers me.
Well, that's, one of the things that I've always had a challenge with, and I've seen a lot of people have the same thing, is I have the idea that I want to do something. I just don't know where to start. Right.
Yes.
But that's how I use AI now, is like, hey, I need to build a checklist for XYZ. It needs to incorporate this, this, and this. And then it gives me the framework. And then from the framework, I take it out of the AI and then I start building on it and then make it customizable to what I'm trying to experience as well.
Yes.
But it's a good starting point for me.
And me too. And that's what I love. You can put ideas in there and it will help you with ideas. But of course, you're not going to leave it just for AI. You're going to make it your own.
Right. So let's end on what else are people coming to you for? We're in a modest market right now. I'm speaking probably, out of school, but maybe some people aren't willing to, or really looking to invest too much money into their business at this time. They're like, I don't know where rates are. I'm not doing as much, production as I would like to be. What are some of the things that people are coming to you for right now? What other solutions are you providing?
You mean if they don't want to invest in like hiring or training?
I just say maybe they're coming to you for like, hey, I need, what are some of the services that you're talking to LOs? Like, what are the top 2 or 3 asks that they come to you with right now?
So they pretty much come to me when they need someone on their team. Most people come to me for team stuff, like consulting them on their team or helping them map out processes on their team.
So let's talk about that. If people right now come to you and you say, I'm not where I want to be production wise. I don't know if I want to invest in a team. Like, how do you, what's the talking points through that? Like, because some people just flat out just say, you know what, I don't have the bandwidth or the profitability today to invest in a team. And I guess, what does that look like for you?
So what they need to do is they need to treat themselves as the loan partner.
Right.
So they need to map out exactly what they'll be doing on a daily basis, have a daily, I like to call it a daily success plan.
Yeah.
The daily success plan, basically for them to have success every day. So if they're going to be making a certain amount of calls every day, reaching out to people they know, agents that they work with already, their people, friends and family, different people in the community, to know what they do for a living. They should be making outbound calls.
Right.
They should be writing handwritten personal notes every single day. That lifts people up. You encourage people when you do that, and they don't have to just be clients. They can be anybody that they're doing that with. It sends out good energy into the world, right? Into certain people. And then also they should be meeting with people that can send them referrals. And it doesn't always have to be agents. It can be other people. And I would say also that they need to be on social media, socializing with people.
Yeah.
Not selling, just socializing.
Yeah. No, I'm a big social media person, and everyone always says, well, I post a lot of my dogs. I'm like, listen, if you don't want to do business with me because you see pictures of my dogs, I don't want to do business with you either.
That's right.
So Irene, how do people get, first of all, I love what you're doing, because I think what ends up happening, Irene, I've been in front of LOs for 25 years. I was on the wholesale side. Now I'm on the warehouse side. I see people all the time, and they want to do something, they want to hire, they want to do it, but they're just afraid to take that first step, and or too busy or not confident about taking that first step. So how do people get a hold of you to get that first initial step started?
Yes. So they can find me on Instagram, and they can send me a private message, or you can call, and I'll tell you, it's Irene Duford. That's my handle on Instagram. It's Irene Duford. And they can also call our office. I'll give you the number so you can put it on the show notes.
Yeah.
And my email is irene@loanteamtraining.com.
I think it's a great place to start right now. Start planning for what it's going to look like in a year.
Yes.
In our industry, we're so reactionary to the next 15 days, right?
Yes.
Rate locks expire in 30 days, and that's about as far as a lot of people plan, unfortunately. And so we need to start planning for what's it going to look like 6 months from now, 9 months from now. I mean, quite honestly, I have meetings scheduled in August about 2026 production with my account executives, because I know in this industry, September comes quickly, then we start getting into October, and then all of a sudden November and December starts to fall off a little bit, right? So just being proactive all the time. Irene, I can't thank you enough for the opportunity to chat today. Really appreciate you taking the time to join this Non-Del Influencers podcast, and I look forward to seeing you at the next conference.
Thank you. I do too. Oh, one more thing I forgot to mention.
Yeah, of course.
You can, if they want to know about our training courses, they can go to talktothetrainers.com.
Talktothetrainers.com. Fantastic.
Yes,
I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Matt. I was so fun having a chat with you.
Thank
you. All righty.
you.
Take care.
Thanks for tuning into the Non-Del Influencers podcast, powered by First Funding. For more resources and episodes, visit nondelinfluencers.com.